On day 1, I spawned in as Zeus on top of Mount Olympus. Look at this. I had this sweet lightning bolt weapon. Suddenly, my brother Poseidon and my favorite daughter Athena came rushing towards me.
Zeus, Olympus is under attack. We need your help.
What's going on? I just spawned in. They didn't have time to answer though, because an explosion happened and our entire Olympus was filled with powerful titans. Oh no, this isn't good. Just then, the most powerful titan, Kronos, appeared in front of us.
My weak children, your time as rulers of this world is over.
Kronos wasn't only the most powerful titan, but also my father. Father, we defeated you once, and we'll defeat you again. He rushed at us using all of his powers, though. He quickly hit Poseidon and Athena, passing them directly off Mount Olympus. It was just me and him left. I won't let you get away with this, do you hear me? He laughed as he hit me, knocking me off of Mount Olympus. I was falling from the sky. I crash landed in an ancient Greek village, directly into one of the houses. Oh man, what's going on? I noticed how my lightning bolt was also missing. I checked my inventory and saw I had some of the wood from the house I crashed into. Before I had time to orient myself, though, I was confronted by the owner of the house. What do you want, puny villager? The villager called for the guards to help. I tried to run, but I felt so weak. I wasn't able to get out of the house before the guards arrived. The guards began attacking me, and I tried to fight them off, but was defenseless without my lightning bolt. I had to surrender. I was captured and taken as prisoner. This is no way to treat a god. Stop! On day 3, I woke up in my prison cell, still feeling extremely weak until I remembered. I had wood from the house I crashed into. I quickly made myself a crafting table and used it to craft myself a wooden pickaxe and a wooden sword to fight with. I waited until the guard wasn't looking and then used my pickaxe to break myself out of the prison cell. I did my best to sneak away from the guard, but he spotted me. Oh no, I had to run. I was still extremely weak and only had a wooden sword. Thankfully, I was able to escape. I ran as fast as I could. I knew more guards would be after me once they realized I was gone. I had not gotten far from the city when my brother, Hades, the god of death, appeared from the underworld in front of me. Brother, where were you when Olympus was under siege? We needed your help.
I was in the underworld. The Titans are too powerful for us to defeat.
Don't say that. We were able to defeat them once, and we're gonna be able to do it again.
Bozo, I have sided with them. I suggest you do the same. Our time as rulers has come to an end.
I would never side with those monsters. How could you betray us?
Such a shame that they will kill you too.
On day 4, I was traveling for what seemed like days and noticed I was starting to starve. I searched the area and came across a group of sheep. I began to take them down and gather their meat as well as wool. I ate the meat, and while it wasn't much, I could feel myself growing stronger. Whoa, my lightning bolt is back. Before I could celebrate, I heard rumblings of lightning in the distance. I looked to the sky and I noticed it was completely different. The entire sky was dark and red. The Titans' rule on Olympus was already starting to affect the world. They must be stopped. I was still far too weak to travel back to Olympus and fight them. I decided it was best to start up a base. I crafted myself a wooden axe and chopped down some nearby trees. Once I had gathered enough materials, I found a nice location to start my base. I built a small wooden house and placed a few chests inside as well as a bed. By this time, it was getting late, so I went to sleep for the night. The next day, I was out searching the world for any signs of the Titans. I traveled far away from my base when a flaming beast landed in front of me.
This world is even more pathetic than I thought it would be.
Who are you? And why are you here?
Kronos sent me to begin destroying the world even better. I found one of his pathetic children to destroy with it.
The beast leapt into me and hit the ground in front of me, dealing a ton of damage and knocking me back. I did my best to fight back, but my lightning powers were still so weakened. The beast attacked me with his claws, and I did my best to attack him with my wooden sword, but it barely did any damage.
Weak god, your time is over!
Before he could deal the final blow, a hippogriff flew in and startled the beast for a second.
Hop on.
I did as the hippogriff asked and hopped onto him. We flew away from the beast back toward my base. Thank you so much for saving me. I really owe you one.
Don't worry about it. My name is Dewey.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Dewey. I quickly started to grab some stone nearby. I used it to craft a set of stone tools. Next, to show my gratitude for the hippogriff, I constructed him a small shelter to live in next to my house. He told me that he didn't have a home, so this is the least I can do. On day 6, I had a weird dream. I was back on top of Mount Olympus. I began walking around, taking in the destruction until I spotted Kronos. Father, what have you done with Mount Olympus?
I restored it to its original glory, as it was when I ruled the world.
You're a monster. I'm gonna defeat you again.
You'll never be able to stop me by yourself. I am far more powerful than before, and it was a god who freed me. You stand no chance.
What? A god freed you? But who? Who would have done that? He didn't answer, and he charged at me. But right before he hit me, I woke up to the sounds of horns in the distance. I ran outside to investigate what the horns were. I saw a group of villagers, and they looked like they were searching for something or someone. Oh, that's not good. They must be looking for me. I quickly made a dash back to my base. And when I had arrived, there was a mountain that randomly formed. What is going on? I walked up the mountain, and on top of it, there was a mysterious woman there. Who are you? How did you find my base?
I am the mother of Cronus, your grandmother. I know all that happens on this planet.
Why are you here?
To tell you how you can defeat Cronus again. You will need to become more powerful than you ever were in order to do so.
She also told me that I would need to gather my brothers, Poseidon and Hades. That is not possible. Poseidon, he's gone, and Hades sided with the Titans.
Poseidon is only captured, not gone. And you will need to convince Hades to rejoin the side of the gods.
How am I ever gonna do that? Hades is the most stubborn person I know, and I'm so much weaker than I was when I first defeated the Titans.
You are just gonna have to figure it out. You are a god after all.
Gaia vanished before I could ask her more questions. First things first, I knew I had to find my brother, Poseidon. On day 8, I set out for Poseidon's temple. I listened to what Gaia said and stopped by a cave to mine iron. She said I would need to become more powerful than I ever was in order to defeat the Titans. I found as much iron as I could and used it to craft myself an iron set of tools, as well as an iron helmet. I was starting to feel stronger, more like my old self actually. I was getting ready to leave the mine when I heard something behind me. I wasn't able to make out what it was, so I went deeper into the mine. I heard a large rumble from the cave and realized it was starting to collapse. I ran as fast as I could to the exit, but the cave collapsed in front of me. It was dark, but luckily, I was able to find some coal so I could craft some torches. I had to find another way out, so I made my way around the cave, looking for any signs of an exit. Finally, after some traveling, I was able to spot some light, which had been coming from the surface. Oh, thank goodness. I really need to be more careful than that. I started to make my way to Poseidon's sea temple. On day 9, I made it to the beach near Poseidon's temple. I saw a group of turtles gathered, cowering in fear. I approached them and asked them what was wrong. The turtles explained to me that they were being attacked by a monster. It had shown up a few days ago and was causing havoc to them. I asked them where the monster was, and before they could tell me, a massive cyclops appeared and roared. This must be the creature they're talking about. I began to fight the beast off. He was strong, but with some of my strength back, I knew I could take him. He got a few good hits in, but I was able to take him down using my iron sword and lightning bolt. It's good to have this thing back. After defeating him, I felt myself growing stronger. Whoa, look at that. And my lightning bolt looks like it has another ability to it. I approached the turtles, and they were extremely grateful for me taking down the monster. I hadn't been on Earth in so long, and I have to admit, it felt pretty good helping these less fortunate creatures. I wish I thought about that when I landed in the village. I knew Poseidon's temple was deep underwater, though. I asked the turtles if they would be able to help me. The turtles were happy to help, and they tossed me a potion of underwater breathing. Oh, thanks, guys. This is really gonna come in handy. On day 10, I was swimming through the ocean on my way to Poseidon's temple when I spotted something at the bottom. It was shiny, and it definitely didn't look like anything that belonged. Oh, what? It was my chest plate. I assumed it had been destroyed when I was hit by Kronos on day 1. I wonder if all my armor has been scattered around the world. I'm gonna need to keep an eye out for them. I equipped it and continued on my journey to Poseidon's temple. When I arrived, it looked like it had been attacked. This place was in ruins. I made my way inside and searched the temple for any signs of Poseidon, but he was nowhere to be found. Where could he be? After I finished searching the rest of the temple, I was only able to find some fish in the chest. Oh, at least I'll have food for the next few days. As I was leaving the temple, I came across a group of dolphins. Poseidon had always loved them, and I asked them if they knew where he was. The dolphins explained to me that Poseidon had never returned to his temple after going to Olympus to fight Kronos. I wonder if he was captured and is being held somewhere else then, just like Gaia said. I began my journey back to my base. I arrived back at my base, where I found the same guard villager who was trying to imprison me. I wasn't sure what he wanted, but I was beginning to take pity on the villagers. I approached him and asked what he wanted. The villager told me it was caused by a fire beast. No doubt it was the monster Kronos had sent to take over the world. We have a city to save. As we approached it, I could already see it in ruins from the Kronos' monster. I landed and approached the beast.
If it isn't the puny god, prepare to meet your end.
The beast started to attack me with his claws. I did my best to avoid them, but he was very powerful. I used my lightning abilities to fight back against him, and I could feel that I was more powerful than him.
How could this be?
The fight was long and tiring, but I pushed on, and eventually I could sense he was weak.
Your brother was not this powerful when I captured him in the mountains. How?
I'm more powerful than any Titan monster will ever be. I delivered the final blow, and he was defeated. The villagers began to come out of their homes and praise me for saving them. I looked around, and I noticed the city was in complete ruins. I offered them a place to stay at my base. The villagers were shocked. A god offering to help them? I'm just as shocked as you guys are. But no doubt, my base is a lot safer to be at than this place. On days 13 to 14, I returned to base with the villagers from the nearby city. I felt terrible for what had happened to their city and the way I treated them earlier. I got to work constructing houses for them at my base. I then took the time to expand my own house. Look at that. Starting to feel like it's fit for a god like myself. Finally, I decided I wanted to make something to symbolize hope for the people of the village. I began working on what would be a giant Zeus statue, similar to the one on Olympus. The Titan's minion had mentioned he had captured my brother in the mountains. I consulted the leader of the villagers, who, despite my new outlook, still didn't trust me.
You may have everybody else fooled, but I still know you're an ungrateful god.
Oh, please. We don't have time for this right now. I need to know where the mountains are so I can save my brother Poseidon. He explained to me that he was most likely referring to the mountains not too far from my base. They were the tallest mountains in the entire world. I thanked the villager and headed off in search for them. Days 15 to 16 started off with me heading out to finally find my brother Poseidon. I was traveling out far to different areas in the world. When I finally reached them, I walked onto the first mountain, and all of a sudden, Hades appeared right in front of me. It turned the entire mountain to death. What do you want this time, brother?
You need to stop your hopeless rescue and just let the Titans win.
No, I won't. I'm going to do what I can to make things right.
Don't you see? It's already too late.
Hades, I know there's still good in you. Please, just do the right thing, and together we can take the Titans back down. Hades stood there and looked at the ground, not knowing what to say or do. He then looked back at me.
I'm sorry, brother, but goodbye.
Wait, what? No! Hades used his power on me and sent me straight to the underworld. Oh no, I had to leave fast before it was too late. On days 17 to 18, I was trapped in the underworld. I looked around and saw death everywhere, and at the center of it was Hades' kingdom. I was about to start exploring when Gaia appeared.
Zeus, this isn't good. You must leave this place now.
I know, Gaia. That was sort of the plan. I just have to find an exit.
Well, you have to think of one fast, because the lava down there is rising by the second.
It looks like there were some souls in the lava as well. Gaia explained to me that when it reaches me, it will turn me into a soul as well, making me stuck here forever. I quickly tried to make my escape, and after a bit of searching, I saw a route back into the overworld. It was also surrounded by lava, so I had to be careful. I jumped platform by platform. It was hard, but I was finally able to do it. Look at that! I was back in the overworld, and it looks like I can see a structure in the mountains. That had to be where Poseidon was being held. I entered the structure, and when I was inside, I saw Poseidon was being held in some kind of magical field. I rushed toward him, but before I can reach him, Kronos appeared. It was a trap.
You weak god. Did you really believe I would let you free your brother this easily?
I am not weak. Your selfishness shows how weak you are, and I'm gonna defeat you once again.
Defeat me? You can't even defeat Hades, who has a fraction of my power.
I'll show you. I attacked him using my lightning bolt abilities. I can see I was dealing some damage to him, but not much.
You have become stronger, I see.
Kronos started to fight back, inflicting some serious damage to me. It seems as if I was still no match for him. Oh no.
I will turn this world to dust, and nothing can stop me.
He hit me again. It sent me flying out of the temple. I crash landed into a new location after my fight with Kronos. That fight was really one-sided. I need to get back to base, get stronger, and save my brother Poseidon. On the way back to base, I was in for a rude awakening. The Titans have taken over a random village. Thankfully though, I saw that all the villagers made it out okay. The only thing I can do right now is sneak towards the base and not get caught. Dewey appeared. A giant lion was chasing him. Hey, cut it out! With Dewey's help, we were able to both defeat the lion.
Bozo, I've been looking everywhere for you when the Titans attacked. I thought you were in trouble.
Thanks, Dewey. Thankfully, I'm fine, but I have a lot to fill you in on. On days 24 to 26, I arrived back at my base with Dewey. While we were gone, the villagers had brought sheep and cows back and built them a pen. They said it was an offering of food for me. Wow, the village was really starting to come together, and I felt a new purpose to protect the people of this world. I really took them for granted, but I won't do it again. After my run-in with Kronos, I knew I was nowhere near powerful enough to defeat him. I decided it was best to go mining for some upgrades. I went to a nearby mine and started to search for iron. I was able to find enough to complete my iron armor set. In addition to my Zeus armor chestplate, I traveled back to my base and approached Dewey. Dewey, will you tag along with me to help free my brother from his prison?
I'm not sure, Fozo. Kronos is the most powerful Titan. I don't think I'd be much help.
Don't worry, Dewey. I can't fight him alone either, but together we can at least stand a chance.
I guess you're right.
Dewey agreed to come with me toward the mountains where Poseidon was being held. Dewey and I arrived back at the mountains where Poseidon was and made sure Kronos was not hiding somewhere. When we got inside, though, we were attacked by a group of Furies. There were so many of them, and they were coming from all sides of the temple. Dewey and I fought back, and luckily, these Furies were nowhere near as tough as what I'd fought before. I was able to take them down with my lightning bolt. Poseidon was being held in some kind of magical field. I was able to break it down. Brother, are you okay?
I feel so weak. The Titans curse me.
Cursed? What do you mean?
It has taken away my powers. Athena would know how to lift it.
Athena. I was so caught up thinking about rescuing Poseidon to stop Kronos. I didn't even stop to think about her. We returned back to base, and when I arrived, Gaia was waiting for me.
I know where Athena is, but you are not ready to save her.
Where is she? How can I save my daughter?
She has been turned to stone by Medusa. One look and you'll be turned to stone. Her powers are far too strong for you to handle right now.
I'm not afraid of her. Tell me where she is.
Zeus, you must complete your armor set before you face her, or it could mean the end of our hope.
I stormed off from Gaia. I was upset with what she had told me, so I went to sleep for the night. On days 30 to 32, I woke up and decided I need to build my base up more. Now that Poseidon is here with me, he needs a place to sleep as well. I wanted him to feel right at home, so I made him a ship-themed house. It was definitely harder to do, but it was for my brother after all. I then went around and noticed that the villagers were gearing themselves up for the future Titan attacks. Wow, good call, guys. After that, I continued working on my Zeus statue. I smelted more of my cobblestone into smooth stone to use on it. There we go. That looks great. I heard a commotion and looked over to see Poseidon fighting all the villagers.
This is my food. I am a god.
Whoa, brother, calm down. This is here so we can all share. Poseidon wasn't having it and wanted all the food for himself. Wow, is this how I acted on day 2? I know we're gods, but these are our people, and they must be treated with respect as well. I made Poseidon apologize, and because of it, the villagers agreed to make a bigger farm so that everyone can have more food. Look at them go. This is way better. See, brother, treat them with respect, and you'll be respected. On days 33 to 37, I woke up to the villagers in a panic. I calmed them down. She told me not too far from here, Titans were landing from Mount Olympus and was starting a rampage across the world. Dewey, come quick. We don't have much time. I saw a massive Titan moving across the world. He was slowly converting the world to some kind of strange block. You are no match for me. Go back to where you came, and there will be no trouble.
Beauty God, time to die.
The Titan launched lava at me. When they hit the ground, the lava spread. I jumped into action and used my lightning bolt. When I was close, the Titan would use his arms to bash me away. Our fight went on for a while, and right when I thought he was defeated, he was starting to get angry.
No, you will die.
I jumped up and hit him with my lightning bolt one last time, and he was defeated. I noticed he dropped something, and I picked it up. Wow, it's my helmet. I equipped it and felt my lightning bolt grow stronger. Dewey and I began traveling back toward our base. Days 38 to 41, I got back to my base, and the villagers were tending to my wounds. I thanked them. I didn't expect them to take care of me in my injured state. I need to find Athena and get Poseidon back to his full strength. Before I had time to think, a villager rushed to me and told me that someone nearby the base had been completely turned to stone. He led me to the stone villager, and I sent him back to base. I began examining the stone villager. What? How is this even possible? I looked around, and I spotted a small snake moving into the forest. Medusa. She must have been close. This is the only way someone could be turned to stone like this. I brought the stone villager back to base with me. I didn't want to alarm the other villagers, so I built a small wooden shelter for him to stay in. I knew I needed to get more powerful in order to take on Medusa and free both Athena and this villager. On days 42 to 44, I headed to a nearby cave in hopes to find some diamonds to complete my armor. After some time, I was able to find some, and I used the diamonds to craft diamond boots and diamond pants. I even had a few extra. I think I could give these to the villagers. On my way out, I also mined some iron. I think with all these ores, I can make some armor for the villagers. It's the least I could do for all their help. I returned to the village and surprised them with the armor. They were so happy and thanked me for always protecting them.
This is nice, I guess.
You're welcome? Whatever. I wonder what his deal is. I can't believe he still doesn't trust me after all that I've done. I looked for Poseidon, but couldn't find him anywhere in the village. Eventually, I found him next to the ocean. He must be trying to use his powers.
Come on, baby, give me something. Yes, it's working.
A sea monster jumped out of the water and began attacking us.
Maybe a little too much.
Luckily, with my armor upgrades, he was not dealing a ton of damage, and we both took him out fast. What happened, brother? Why couldn't you control that thing?
The only way that I control any of these creatures is with my trident. And if I want to defeat Kronos, we need to get it.
Yeah, you're right. I need to find Athena. She's gonna be able to make you a new one and restore your powers. On days 45 to 46, I went back to see Gaia. It's time for me to find and save Athena.
Are you sure you're ready to face Medusa, Zeus?
I am, Gaia. I have to be.
Fine, Zeus. Here is a map that will lead you to Athena and Medusa.
As I was about to grab the map, there was a sudden explosion. What was that? I need to know where that's coming from. I went to the place where the explosion happened, but it was surrounded by a field of death. I should have known it was you, brother.
I saw your fight with our father Kronos. He really wiped the floor with you, didn't he?
Yeah, well, maybe that wouldn't have happened if I had you by my side.
I'm afraid I cannot do that, brother.
He started to attack me, and I defended myself from his blasts. Look at this, Hades. This only plays right into Kronos' hand.
I'm sorry, brother. This has to be done. Plus, Medusa needed a nice distraction.
Distraction? What have you done?
Maybe this will finally convince you to join the winning side.
I rushed back to the village as quickly as I could. I hope everyone's okay. I arrived back at my base and noticed everything had been turned to stone. Not just everything, but everyone as well. Oh no. If only I'd been there for them. Maybe I could have stopped Medusa. Gaia, where are you? I could really use that map. I looked for Gaia and I found her. She too, though, was turned to stone. In front of her was a piece of paper. I picked it up and looked at it. It was the map to Medusa's lair. It didn't matter if I was ready or not to face Medusa. I needed to go and defeat her. From the looks of the map, it was gonna be a long journey. Luckily, not all the crops had been changed to stone, so I was able to gather some up to make bread for my journey. I headed out of my base, following the map Gaia had left me. On days 51 to 53, I finally made it to Medusa's lair. I investigated it and found Athena. Yep, trapped in stone, just like Gaia had said. Is there any way that I can turn her back to normal? I continued to look through the lair and found some diamonds. And look, my Zeus leggings. Nice. I'm so close to completing my entire set. As I went deeper into the lair, I started to hear voices. It was Medusa, but who is she talking to? Kronos.
I already know your son is coming for Athena, but he will be no match for the likes of me.
We'll see about that, Medusa. Just be sure you get the job done.
Kronos left. I decided it was time to attack, so I jumped out from my hiding spot and attacked Medusa from behind.
Ow! That was foul play of you, bozo.
I did my best to try and avoid eye contact. I went around different hiding spots of the lair, attacking her while avoiding her.
You call yourself a god, but all I see is a coward.
I figured she was weak enough, so I went in for the final hit. As I was going in, though, she saw me coming. Oh no! I looked her right in the eyes, and she turned me completely into stone. On days 54 to 56, I awoke in a stone world. Everywhere I looked, there was nothing but stone. I couldn't believe I did this. I'd failed the world, and worst of all, I had doomed it to the Titans. How was I not strong enough to defeat Medusa? I can't give up hope now. I just can't. I decided to build myself a small house to live in. I gathered some of the stone that was abundant in the world and used it to build myself a cobblestone house. It seems like this is where I will live out the rest of my days, eternally stuck in this tiny cobblestone home. Right when I was thinking it couldn't get any worse, I was attacked by a group of snake women. They lunged at me, attacking me from all sides, and I started to fight back against the creatures and eventually took them down. I felt myself just getting weaker and weaker though. I guess this world is just as dangerous as the Titans' rule on Earth. On days 57 to 59, I stepped outside of my home and noticed Kronos was here. Is this real?
You have failed. You were never good enough to rule Olympus. Even your own brother knew how weak you were. That's why he joined me.
Hallucination or not, I was beginning to feel hopeless. He was right. I was a failure.
Join me, son, and the possibilities will be endless.
I will never join you. I jumped at him to attack, but he dodged me.
Good luck being trapped here forever.
Kronos then vanished. Was this all in my head? I realized I couldn't give hope this easily. I decided to venture out and search more of the world. Finally, after a bit of traveling for what felt like days, I came across a stone village. I rushed over to the village to see what was there. To my surprise, all the villagers were there, along with Athena.
Father, I'm glad to see you. Myself and all the villagers are weak and starving.
She was right. I looked around the village, and all of them looked weak and desperate. I gave Athena all the food I had, but it wasn't much. Athena, I'm gonna do what I can to go out and search for food. We just can't give up hope yet. Do you understand me?
Hurry back quick. I'm not sure how much longer we can last.
I ventured out into the stone world and searched as far and wide as I possibly could, but it was useless. There was no food in this world at all. Suddenly, I was attacked by a python. The beast was quick and powerful. I was growing weaker, so I had to flee, but they were still chasing me. The sun was starting to set, and I made my way to a cave to escape and spend the night. I felt so weak and thought it might be the end when both Poseidon and Hades appeared in the cave right in front of me. Brothers!
You know this is all in your head, right, brother?
Is it, Hades? Because from what it seems, I can't trust a word you say.
You call yourself a god? god, you should just give up. You have failed.
Don't listen to him, Fozo. You're stronger than this. Hades, you should be ashamed of yourself for what you did. You betrayed us.
Poseidon and Hades started a fight. I was too weak to do anything to stop them. Guys, just stop. Enough is enough! Poseidon and Hades vanished in front of me. I'm not gonna last in this world much longer. I think Hades is right. I lost all hope and began traveling back to the villagers to deliver the bad news. On days 63 to 65, I returned back to the stone village. All the villagers were so excited to see me until I had to tell them I was unable to find any food in our stone prison. The villagers were extremely sad, and Athena came over to comfort me.
You did your best, Father. There's nothing more you could have done.
No, I'd failed everyone in the world, and now we're doomed. The leader of the villagers approached me. He too had gone scouting for food.
Bozo, while I was traveling the world, I came across this pair of boots. I think it belongs to you.
Before he could hand it to me, the village was under attack by a group of snakes. Oh no, this is it. We're done for.
Are you kidding me? You're Zeus. You're stronger than a couple of snakes.
He dropped my boots to me.
You need to believe in yourself. We all believe in you. Be the hero that we need.
He then ran off and began fighting off the snakes. Oh man, he was right. I need to be the hero this world needs. I grabbed the boots he dropped and equipped them. Come on, believe. Believe. I felt a strong surge of power, and from my body came out a blinding light. On days 66 to 68, I'd broken out of my stone form. And whoa, that was huge. I fully upgraded. My full armor set brought me back to my original power. I was still in Medusa's lair, exactly where I'd been changed to stone.
What? How did you manage to escape?
Because I am more powerful than you or any other minion of the Titans are. Medusa charged at me, staring me right into the eyes, but I was unaffected by her powers. You can no longer turn me to stone, you snake. I used my new lightning abilities to jump in the air and deal a massive electric shock to her.
How is this possible?
You are finished. I jumped up and delivered one final strike on her, defeating her for good. I ran over to Athena. I had broken out of my stone form, but how was I going to be able to break her free? I decided to try my powers, and I leapt into the air and delivered my electric strike on her. Athena returned from her stone form.
Father, you did it!
I'm so glad to have you back, Athena. We began traveling back towards my base. Athena and I returned to my base, and I began freeing all the villagers. I jumped up and slammed the ground, causing a massive lightning shock wave and breaking everyone and everything free from their stone forms.
You did it, Thozo. You saved us.
I was able to save everyone because you guys all believed in me.
I can't believe you did it. I thought for sure you would fail.
I had a lot of help along the way. That was the only way I was able to make it through.
You were almost ready to defeat Cronus again.
With Athena back, we got to work constructing her a home. She was gonna need a place to stay, especially while we prepared to take back Olympus.
Not as nice as Olympus, but it will do.
I then got to work, continuing my statue. I started to add details to it, and it was really coming together. On days 72 to 74, I ran outside of my base and looked up. I saw the red flashes of the Titan's lightning in the sky. This can't be good. I needed to go and find out what was going on, so I called for Dewey so we can go and investigate. We noticed Titan mobs were scattered all over the world. Kronos was launching a full invasion. We spotted one of the Titan minions alone, and we realized it was our chance to take one of them down. I approached him and began to attack using my lightning bolt. The Titan was barely fighting back. You think this is funny? I was confused as to what he could be laughing about. I then looked around and realized I was completely surrounded by the Titan minions and Kronos. It was a trap.
This is how it ends for you.
I was surrounded with no way out. Kronos began attacking me. I was more powerful than I'd ever been, so I was able to fight back with some effect, but I was still no match for him without my brothers. He knocked me back to the ground, and I was starting to feel weak, even with all my powers. I wasn't enough. How was this possible? Dewey flew in and landed in front of me.
Thozo, you have to get out of here. You're the only hope to stop them.
But Dewey, I can't leave you here.
Go to your brothers, Thozo. Together, you will stop them.
Dewey dropped me a shield. He then rushed at Kronos and began flying around him, distracting him. He struck Dewey down. Dewey, no! I wanted to stay, but I had to go. I'm never gonna forget you, Dewey. I promise. Days 78 to 80, the world now fully belongs to Kronos and the Titans. All I can see is destruction and violence. I looked around and saw Hades.
What have I done? This wasn't supposed to happen.
Is this how you envisioned the world when you freed Kronos? Like I told you, he is the enemy.
It doesn't matter. What is done cannot not be undone.
He charged at me, and we began to fight. With my completed set of Zeus armor, his attacks dealt very little damage. I was much more powerful than he was now. I used my lightning abilities on him, and I could tell they were inflicting some serious damage. He looked at me weakened and confused, waiting for me to deal the final strike.
What are you doing? Do it.
No, Hades. At the end of the day, you are my brother, and I need your help to finish what you started. Siding with Kronos and the Titans was never going to work out. I showed him the destruction again and told him I would need him to make all of this go away. Are you in?
Fine, I'm with you, and I'm sorry for everything. I hope you can forgive my selfish actions.
I do, brother. Now let's go save the world. Hades and I returned to base together. He had realized his mistakes and was remorseful for them. Poseidon was reluctant at first, but he quickly came around.
I'm glad to have you back, brother.
I was still mourning for the loss of my friend and the sacrifice he made for me. I decided I would construct a small monument for him next to my statue. That way, he would be remembered. After all, I would have been nothing without him. As I finished the statue, Poseidon called for me to meet him at Athena's house. When I arrived, Athena and Poseidon were eagerly waiting for me.
Look at what Athena was able to make for me.
He revealed a brand new trident. Brother, that's amazing.
It's better and more powerful than my original one.
Both of us praised Athena and thanked her for the work she had put in to help us.
That's not all I was doing.
Athena showed us she was able to enchant all the armor for the villagers. Now they would have the blessing of the gods on their side as well. Hades, Poseidon, and I were summoned by Gaia. She explained the prophecy and how the three of us would be able to stop Kronos once and for all.
You have your old strength back, but I told you you need to be even more powerful than before to defeat Cronus.
I began to realize that I still had not reached my full potential. How would I be able to become even more powerful? It was too late for me to worry about that now, so I went to sleep for the night. On days 86 to 90, I woke to the villagers shouting. Oh no, the Titans must be attacking the base. I rushed outside and prepared to defend the villagers and my base from them. To my surprise, when I was outside of my home, there were no Titans. The shouts were not villagers screaming, but villagers cheering. I looked up and noticed the villagers had completed my statue. Thank you, but why did you do this? The villagers explained to me that days ago, they despised us for never doing anything for them. I had shown them hope and helped them through the darkest times of their lives. They said they were forever grateful to have a god as compassionate as myself. All of a sudden, I felt a surge of power and began to float up from the ground. I felt myself growing stronger and a surge of lightning overtook my body. I had been infused with electricity. I could feel my lightning bolt was even stronger, and I decided to test it out.
I told you that you would have to become more powerful, but it was not you who had to believe.
I thanked Gaia for all that she had done to prepare me for Kronos and my fight with the Titans. I could hear more rumblings of the Titans in the distance and knew that I was ready to take some of them down. I traveled out of my base and began searching for the Titans' minions. I finally spotted the group of them and rushed in to stop their chaos. I attacked one of the Titans with my lightning bolt, easily taking it down in front of the group. They weren't very happy about that and began to charge and attack me in groups. Sad day for these guys because I've never been more powerful. Their attacks don't hurt me like they used to, thanks to my final upgrade and Zeus armor. I used my lightning ability and destroyed the entire group. The god of lightning is back. This is awesome. My lightning ability is finally back to normal. I should head back to the village and rally everyone. I returned back to my base, feeling stronger than I'd ever, having defeated so many of Kronos' minions. When I arrived back, I decided to start building small villager statues around the base of my Zeus statue. They believed in me more than ever, and for that, I was eternally grateful for them. The villagers thanked me for all I'd done for them, but our celebration was short-lived by more lightning and rumblings from the sky. I knew it was now or never to fight Kronos. I gathered Poseidon, Hades, and Athena, along with all the villagers, and I began to say my goodbyes. I wanted to thank you all for always believing in me. Now, it is time we go and finish this for good.
We will be by your side through the whole fight, Father.
I will do what I can to make things right.
The four of us set off for Olympus and prepared to defeat Kronos. It was day 100. We finally made it back to Olympus. Home sweet home. Too bad the place is infested with Titans. The only way to Kronos is to go straight through them. Let's get rid of them for good.
Hold on, Fozo. You need to save your strength for Cronus. We'll take care of these Titans.
All right, guys. I'll leave it to you. Athena, Poseidon, and Hades all use their powers to take down the Titans. Look at them go. Athena was taking down 2 Titans at once. Poseidon used his trident to weaken each Titan, and Hades used his power to deal the final blow. The Titans had all been defeated. All that's left now is Kronos. I charged ahead of the group. It's time for the final battle, and I confronted Kronos. It ends now, Father.
I will never give up. You are a weak god.
We began to fight. I used all my abilities to attack him from different angles. I can tell that he was not prepared for my newfound power at all.
How is this possible?
With all the newfound power that I've gotten, you stand no chance against me. We continued to fight, and I can feel he was starting to lose his power. He stood before me looking weaker than ever, but he had still not given up. He continued to attack me. Father, it is over.
It will never be over while I still breathe.
He left me no choice. I jumped in the air and delivered my final attack. He was finally defeated, and I saw the world around me restored to normal.